Hey guys, Tyler here bringing you this 1v1 today. We are on Angoville. This is the War Paint Championships final, so it's a best of 5 between DevM, currently playing as US Forces, and Jesulin as OKW. They got to go to Relic HQ over in Canada. They got flown out there. And a couple grand on the line here. And prizes, I think first prize 3 grand. So yeah, and second place is also quite a lot of money. Maybe it's 1,500, something like that. So I'm sure these guys are very keen to get that cash. Map selection, you know, there's a map pool, and they went through a veto process to get to current map. Kind of interesting to see Jesulin going for OKW. I feel like Ost is probably better, but OKW, like, if you can get an early lead and then sustain it and end up with victory. It's just, if things go wrong, they tend to go very wrong. Well, we're seeing Jesulin trying to put a bit of pressure onto this cutoff house here, but his Sturms get caught out in a bad region of the map. They're trying to soft retreat now, but they've taken quite a lot of damage. It's never good, especially doesn't have healing yet. There he goes, drops a model, standing out on the road, taking a lot more damage. Kugel's doing some work coming in from the side, but re-echelon is not what you want to be fighting with your Kugel, because their poor accuracy doesn't really matter shooting at the Kugel's larger target size, so they do a lot of damage. It's Kugel, and of course they're quite cheap to reinforce compared to riflemen. Oh, this is a tough engagement. Looks like the riflemen going to win it, but those free echelon are going to be forced back by the Kugel, and so maybe the Kugel, no, they lost this engagement too hard, had to full retreat there. But neither player, as you can see, has secured the fuel points so far, just a few standard territory points. They're really trying to engage as well as possible, instead of just rushing for resource territory, which is interesting. And actually we can see it up here, like quite a lot of health damage on these rifle squads. And the re-echelon, that's the thing that the Kugel usually does. It usually spreads its damage across the whole squad, so sometimes you can end up with very low health squad, but still on a high amount of models. Which can be trouble if you have to retreat and you come back out onto the field and you're still on low health. But also kind of good in some ways, because you've still got all your DPS intact if you're remaining on the field. Well, there we go. Jesulin gets into this house. So that's so important, man. This house is like the critical thing on Angoville. I'm very surprised we didn't see some wire-off tactics here from DevM. Very common to see people wire off just about this entire region to make it very hard to access this cut-off house. And with that, I mean, the Kugel's kept up, the fuel over here. Jesulin now forcing back all these riflemen. Huge map control lead, and he's going for a mine. Very early mine. He's probably aware that DevM likes to go for that M20, and he wants to try catch that, and we do see the lieutenant coming onto the field now for DevM. M20 also very good at chasing down the Kugel. Probably a good decision for DevM. And now he's just blobbing out, which is a good idea, honestly, because I'm not going to criticize for blobs in these situations. You know, when your opponent's maybe got a strong position, like in a house or behind heavy cover, if you send out squads one at a time, they're going to get diced up, and ultimately you're just going to have to retreat with not much accomplished. In these situations, it's much better to just concentrate your forces, make a push at one region, overwhelm your opponent, who's probably spread out, as we saw Jesulin had a couple squads up here capping and whatnot. And yeah, you have much better results. Well, here is M20 being upgraded with these skirts as soon as it hits the field. If you don't upgrade those skirts, man, it doesn't stand up to much small arms fire at all. People coming in there, got to be careful with their anti-tank grenade, and here's the M20 chopping them up. Lieutenant coming in now, that's going to have to be a full retreat from Jesulin. The addition of that M20 just too much for him to handle. Meanwhile, this squad's been capping. Oh, they ran over the mine. So it's not going to hit the M20. And also kind of handy having your squad here, because if he did run over that mine, what was that, 200 damage plus 100 damage from the Faust. I think this has 320 health, so it would have had 20 health remaining. If you're lucky, you might be able to get with small arms fire, but you may be able to also chase it down and get another Faust off. This armor skirts not only increase the health of this vehicle, but also the armor, making it significantly less vulnerable to small arms. And we're actually seeing a 50 cal from DevM. Suppression is very, very strong against OKW. Of course, they don't have access to smoke. And yeah, the indirect fire is not that great. Ice cheese is not that great, and there we go. Nice reaction by DevM, going for some sweepers. As soon as you ran over that first mine, he's gonna defuse this one. And it looks like he kind of diffused it as he's in the building there. That was that was a bit weird. But man, this M20, look at this swing and map control. He's about to take this entire side. Thanks to it. Of course, there was a battle group for Jesulin, which I do think is the stronger of the two openings. Though, definitely stronger against Soviet Tier 1, but still undecided when it comes to against US forces. Mainly because the Stuart's just way too strong. Stuart is just way too good. And every US forces player pretty much gets it, so it's just a tough place to be in, because there's, you know, it arrives at such a good time in the game, usually, quite a bit before your opponent can feel a flak panzer. But even once he gets a flak panzer, Stuart's got enough armor and enough penetration that it can kind of fight it, especially if a couple bazookas or anti-tank grenades nearby. Of course, that Bet Zero stun just so overpowered. M20 maybe getting baited here. Here comes the Raketin. I think he might have seen it though. M20 has excellent line of sight. Squad don't use their Faust though. Might have been in range. M20 backing away to safety. Probably spotted that Raketin. Or, I mean, you do get a bit of a sixth sense for those cloaked Raketins. They've been part of the game for quite a while now. You have to kind of expect them. And really having a hard time using this. Nice work there by DevM, blocking the line of sight behind that hedgerow. And we actually see Jesulin going for a machine gun. I don't think this is a good idea. Like, it should kind of work, right? Because US forces, I mean, obviously he's relying on these very strong rifle squads running forwards, and suppression should work, but the MG34 is quite weak. Of course, riflemen could get smoke grenades, which kind of negates the MG. And if you lose the MG34, and your opponent steals it, then you're running into what will be 2 machine guns. So you're pretty much screwed at that point as OKW, as I was saying there. Indirect fire options not quite up to standard. Neither is the access to smoke. So against 2 machine guns, it's pretty much a death sentence. Which is why Maxims is so strong against OKW. Oh, Jaeger's trying to hold the line here, but can't. M20 will flush them out shortly. Raketen also got forced off, so that's why DevM can get a bit more aggressive. Very unlikely that your opponent's going to have 2 Raketens at this stage.
The capture point is being overrun.
Still, Jesulin's had a pretty strong early game so far. He's had pretty... Oh, and he gets a rifle squad right there. I think maybe a bit of a Jaeger snipe action there. Remember, Jaegers do have that crit where they can snipe low health models. I think it's below 75% health. They can snipe a model. I think that's why they dropped from 2 models to 0 so fast right there. That's a good win for Jesulin, and straight away we see DevM rebuild that rifle squad. He's also gone for the captain, making use of those free squads. But honestly, it's a pretty strong strat to go for lieutenant. I mean, one of my strategies is to go for lieutenant, 50 cal, like don't get M20, but then go for captain, Stewart. That way you get the free squads, get the Stewart, you get the 50 cal, very strong, and then you can just go for a coolant tank, maybe the Pershing or the Wolverine, depending on what you need. Probably one of the strongest strategies at the moment. And there goes that MG34. So I mean, imagine if that was just like a regular squad. Oh well, it died. You'd be even. 1 rifle squad down, 1... Oh, nice infiltration grenades. 1 rifle squad down, 1, Volk squad down, or 1 Jaeger squad down. Pretty much even. But in this case now, your opponent has so much more. Their extra team weapon basically for free. Massive swing in manpower. Do see tier 4 going down here, gonna cover the cutoff for Jesulin. And these situations, I do think that it's a pretty good idea to get your tier 4. If you're gonna have enough fuel, if you're gonna have 100 fuel by the time you hit 8 CPs for your flak pans out, getting tier 4 down is generally a pretty good idea. Of course, it increases your command point clock. That's why you see Jesulin so far ahead of DevM. So you can get your tank out, or your coolant tank out faster. But also in this case, it's going to lock down a pretty crucial point of the map here, which is on this cutoff, and DevM well known for his heavy, aggressive cutoff style play. You see a Stewart coming out now for DevM. Very late Stewart though. And what's that like? Yeah, 13-14 minutes Stewart. That's crazy. But he's still going to see some utility from it because it's just so damn strong, and man, he's just getting attacked from all angles here. Jesulin having a lot of troubles. He's gone for an ISG, which is probably necessary right now because he's facing up against 2... What the hell is that moving across there? It's weird. Oh, that's the ISG's firing range. Okay. I was like, what the hell? Oh, I got completely distracted there. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, he needs the ISG to counter the double machine guns he's facing against now. And nice, ISG's just not really worthwhile. Kind of lucky that he has this tier 4 here though, so he can bring his ISG forward to a range that he can actually fight at effectively and safely, that he won't risk turning that over. Thanks to that flat coverage there. But these double light vehicles now for DevM causing Jesulin all sorts of headaches, and that is also another reason why going for a machine gun is a bad idea. His US forces, he says, it's because of their mortar. Their mortar is so overpowered and everybody gets it, so it's another reason why I think the MG34 was just a really bad idea for Jesulin. If he went for another Jaeger squad, I think that would have been a much better decision. Just try to fight blob versus blob. And if you have that extra squad, you know, facing off against one machine gun, you can maybe execute slightly more flanks. If you send in like one squad, scout the location of the machine gun, you know, once you get suppressed, you're not taking much damage. Which I covered in my Star Series on suppression, so you can sit there for a while whilst your other squads try and avoid the arc of fire of the machine gun and get a flank off on it.
Enemy infantry! Forward on! Field promotion earned!
Well, that's pretty good for Jesulin there. 4 models, not going to bleed any manpower for that. And here comes the Flak Panzer going to engage against the Stuart. There's a couple hits off in there as the M10 in response from DevM. He wants to close this game out. Could have stalled for the Pershing, but he's going for the M10. Got a Raketin in position, but if you're facing off against the M10, you kind of need 2 Raketins because it's so fast. And you also need to babysit your Flak Panzer with your Fox, because you need that Faust on tap. The engagement's going on 2 regions. Got some infiltration grenades probably going to come in here. Here comes N10. Raketin caught in a bad spot. Going to have to retreat. There goes the captain. But DevM's got eyes only for the Flak Panzer. Raketin is very late retreat. He loses the Raketin and the Flak Panzer, and in exchange picked up the captain, but I think that's a good trade for DevM. And that Raketin now gets stolen, so there's 2 team weapons. Jesulin has lost to DevM now. That is a crushing blow. Oh, did he just lose another squad? No. Could be about to though. No, he gets out in the nick of time. Mortar in an extremely safe place here, covered by a machine gun. Quite a handy spot as well. A lot of engagements happening in this region right now. Trying to plant another mine. Clearly that's an important part of Jesulin's strategy, and I don't know if he cancelled that mine. And the construction mines will die to just about anything. And here comes the new Raketin for Jesulin. But yeah, I think if you see your opponent has armor company in their loadout, you just got to be so careful with your vehicles. Because at any time an N10 could just roll in from 7 command points onwards and just completely wreck you. It's happened to me many times where I've gone for a Lux, the mechanized truck, you know, and gone for the Lux, and then beaten his Stuart, killed the Stuart, and now there should be a good window of time where the Lux dominates the field before your opponent can get out a medium tank, because obviously ticking up would be quite costly. But the N10 completely denies that window of success, really, you know, after you take out the Stuart, which is so hard to do in the first place. Which is why I'm often not that fond of going for the mechanized truck, because so often, even if you win that early light vehicle engagement, which is very dicey because obviously you're at a pretty big disadvantage. Oh, nice ISG hit. Then you just, you know, you don't even get to capitalize on that advantage that you so you know, so hard fought won. That's really bad English, but hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. So hard to get that advantage, and then you don't even get to capitalize on it because of the M10. Raketten's keeping him at bay. What you really need is for your Raketten to get to Vet 1, which is very close to now, and once it can move around at full regular speed and camouflage, that is the edge that you're looking for. Jesulin has enough fuel to go for another flak panzer now. Looks like he manually set that up so if the M10 chased, it would have got 2 hits off. And there's an M20 mine down there in the centre. M6 modified anti-tank mine. You often forget about these. I mean, it used to be so common that US Forces players would go for the M20, but quite rare that you see it these days. DevM's one of the only players who regularly uses it. So you often forget to sweep for those. It used to be always you get a sweeper. Because these things so devastating. I think they do 400 damage and immobilize the vehicle. Pretty much a death sentence for any light vehicle and many heavier vehicles. She's getting a bit of work done under the cover of that flak base. DevM not going for any weapon upgrades though. He's got 500 munitions floating, and he's going to pop the house bar, try and take out the COH2 with it. This is rather inaccurate though. So it's not like, you know, it's a concentrated fire for the Brits. I mean, there's no guarantee that it will even hit the COH2 itself. Lots of infiltration grenades in front of the garrison. Very interesting location for them. Didn't work out too well. Gonna take one Faust here. Looks like I don't understand why they're still standing there. And then he takes a grenade. What's he doing? Now he retreats way too late. What was he even doing right now? Was he trying to... He's got double... I don't know what he was doing, but whatever it was, not nearly as important as that squad going down right there. He's finally got the double Rakettens. But in most cases, it's about predicting, like, it's about setting up your troops so that your opponent has to rotate their vehicles to deal with your troops, and then your Rakettens are already in a position to ambush them as they rotate or as they come to deal with your troops. And then you can hopefully take your opponent's vehicles out. I think Jesulin just has to kind of abandon trying to take this side. It's not working out for him too well. Just try and play on this side. Try and hold those VPs. And fuel on this side. Try to stabilize the game a little bit because, you know, at least there's no Pershing going to be coming. And, you know, we saw that game that I cast a few days, or that I posted maybe about a week ago, where it's just like M10 versus flak panzers spam. That can go on the entire game in this matchup. But yeah, I'm very surprised that DevM didn't go for any weapon upgrades at any stage. Oh, this is going to be the end of the squad and the garrison. One more tiny hit. Oh, no, oh my god, he gets out in the time. Once again, he's kind of spreading his troops over this side where he's having no success. It's away from his Raketten, so the light vehicles can just force him away, and the mortars very, very easily. I feel like he's just wasting time trying to send squads out this way at the moment. Maybe once he has 2 flak panzers, I think he could make something happen. We see the major tech actually by DevM, which is an interesting decision. With Armour Company, you don't have to tick. There's no real reason you need to tick.
Suppressive fire! Suppressive fire!
Especially when playing against OKW. I think against Austria maybe there's a bit more of a reason, I don't know.
Enemy infantry!
The Major's going to do some capping in the back lines. Fair enough, he doesn't really need to use it for a forward retreat point at the moment. And once again, Jesulin is sending out a lone squad over here to try and do some capping, but here comes the Stuart going to force it away. Waste of resources. What was that? M10 going after the flak panzer, gets killed by the Raketans though. Ooh. But he did manage to get off another 240mm barrage. Decruise that ISG. Oh, he's got a... Oh, that's right. Looks like he was trying to set a M20 mine up here. But it got killed by the flak panzer. Now that bazooka's in the hands of the Fox Grenadier squad. Which is good because he actually didn't upgrade this with the STGs at any stage. But still, triple cab running for DevM. VP's getting very, very low for Jesulin. He's got his 2 flak panzers now, and this is why I'm saying once he gets the 2 flak panzers, he can start pushing out onto this right hand side. Especially after he just took out an M10 and his opponent spent all that fuel going for tech instead of just calling in another M10 or bulldozer Sherman. This is Jesulin's time to shine. Oh, that was an interesting grenade decision. Perhaps he didn't know where the other door was. Perhaps he thought it was back here, but put out of this door over here. Perhaps that grenade should have been thrown more in that location. Doesn't quite take enough damage there for a damaged engine. And this is the 105mm artillery onto the VPs. A lot of teammates around here. Perhaps he hoped to catch one of them, but doesn't look like he's going to be successful. And maybe able to get the wipe here with the flak panzer. No, flak panzers both focusing on the Raketin, trying to steal that back. Still got 2 Raketins. And he decreased that. Perhaps he could get this rifle squad. No, here comes the Sherman. Where are the Raketins? Where are the Oh, the Raketins had to retreat. There they are. Big blob coming through, clears out one of them, forces the other to retreat. So this Sherman should be able to pick off flak panzer. Where's the blitz though? Needs to use the blitz. Come on, blitz, blitz, blitz. Jesulin, no, he's got the munitions for it. Oh, I think he's just overwhelmed, man. He's getting pushed. He's trying to do a flank here on this machine gun, which may be successful, but it's not as important as keeping your flak panzers alive. Looks like he recrewed this Raketin. Going to be able to fight this Sherman. The Sherman stops right in front, and there's the bazooka there. The Raketin gets another shot off. Down goes the Sherman. But look at this, 31 VPs left. Black Panther's coming in on low health. He just has to get rid of all these squads. Stuart's still over here, man. This thing is locked down the right hand side the entire, last 12 minutes maybe? 12 minutes basically. Jesulin has been unable to contest this side. Thanks to the Stuart. He's deploying some Jaegers, trying to clear out the mortar, and then probably going to go for the cap on the VP. Mortar's got 4 kills. I mean, it's pretty low for the US mortar, but he just camped it here, doing nothing really. So didn't try to micro it or get it closer to the engagements or anything. Just left it for those. Oh no, he gets another squad wipes. These guys coming out here with a Raketin in support. He decrews. Needs to throw an incendiary grenade or something. Oh, and there's another M10 which was going to kill the flak panzer. Drains on the VPs anyway. Oh boy. Well, Jesulin got off to a pretty strong start. We saw his good fuel control. He had enough for a tier 4 with the pretty much straight away 8 CPs as well, getting the flak panzer out, which is just about as good as you can ever expect to go as OKW. But then I think losing that second machine gun was a pretty big blow for him, because then he's constantly running to suppression. Made very hard for him to retake territory. And then once he got his first flak panzer, probably should have played a bit more safely with it, being well aware that the M10 could have come in to counter it. Waited until he got 2 Raketens and babysit it with the Volksgrenadiers as well, at least one squad for the Panzerfaust. But he maybe he's a bit too aggressive with it, and yeah, those are the mistakes that you can't come back from as OKW. They are very, very unforgiving faction. Allies, you can get away with a lot more mistakes. I mean, we saw an early rifle squad go down for DevM, and we saw Captain go down. We saw him lose like Shermans and M10s for no real reason. This one up here died kind of recklessly. Sherman died recklessly. And this died. Well, I mean, its damage was done at that stage, but yeah. Oh well, we're going to go into game 2. Switch up the factions, so stay tuned.